afternoon. Hey, good afternoon. Still says the live video is starting, so I'll give it just a little bit of time to get all going. How are y'all today? This is Mary Lou Foster. I am an independent stamp demonstrator in Sulphur Springs, Texas, which is halfway between Dallas and Texarkana on Interstate 30. There it is. Let me see if it sounds alright. Does it sound okay? Yeah, there's a bit of a delay, but that's okay. So if you are joining me, please comment. Let me write that in the, please comment so I'll know you are watching, and maybe I'll catch them. I just love those auto-generated subtitles. I speak East Texan, and sometimes it doesn't do a very good job of interpreting what I say. So I advertise this as coffee and cards. I made a fresh cup of coffee just so I could do this little video. I'm going to do a thank you card today using the On the Farm Designer Series paper. This paper is still one of the choices that you can choose with your $50 order during hi Linda, I saw the comment. I'm like, oh, somebody just joined. You've probably seen this card because I think we made it in card class last month, but it uses On the Farm Designer Series paper. So I did a little display. I don't know, these are pages that I cut little pieces so that you could see the front and the back. We're using this piece, which is the back of that one. And then these two are actually part of a 12 by 12 scene of On the Farm. And on the back of it are the blue, the chicken wire, and then we're using this farm scene. And on the other side of it is just a green sheet. I don't have it here. So I wanted to feature that paper and let you know that it's still available with a $50 order during Sale-a-bration. And remember, there were choices in a little brochure that you may or may not have gotten in the mail, depending on if you're on my mailing list or not. If you need and want catalogs, you have to ask me. You can do that by commenting, by emailing, by texting if you have my number, by private messaging. Then the 1st of February, they added some more choices. So when you get that order placed, it's going to prompt you to tell it what you want for your free items. And it'll take you to a page if you ask it to, and it'll show you the choices, like with your $50 orders or with your $100 orders. They try to make it very easy to get your order placed. If you need help, just let me know, because you know I am happy to help. So I was going to show you the inspiration card that I started with for this paper, and then my card, they've ended up not being anything alike. This was a kind of a fancy fold card, and I already had one fancy fold card, so I just modified the design and made it be a horizontal or a landscape card. But you can kind of see that it opens up on hers. But it all worked out really good. So when you come to my card classes, I prepare little kits for you that have the ingredients for your card. I like to call them ingredients. I do some of the die cutting, sometimes not all of it, because the fun of it is getting to play with the products. But I don't want to overwhelm you either. So our card base today is Crumb Cake. Excuse me. I believe I'll have a sip of coffee. You may see this host code floating around up here. I'll try not to cover it up too much. If you decide to place an order in order to get some of these products for free, if you don't mind using that host code, I will post it in the comments also, so you don't have to remember too much. I'll be closing this host coat out at the end of the week. Well, no, probably Monday. All right, so the card base is cut at 5.5 by 8.5. It's scored at 4.25 and folded, and it's turned sideways. I like to call it sideways. And then our piece of designer series paper, remember this side had the pigs and cows, and there are dies that go with this. There's a stamp set that it coordinates with called On the Farm, and then there are dies that coordinate. So you could use these dies to cut out that cow, that pig, that sheep, the chickens, because they've got it all sized. And then they have some branches. They have teeny tiny ducks. Let me take it out of the shiny folder. They have kind of a wavy for if you're going to kind of do a landscape. Look at these teeny tiny ducks, and the goose, and the rabbit. That's a rabbit. Look how teeny tiny. You have to keep this on a magnet board or you will lose these pieces. I think this, yep, it would die cut those branches. I love the barn. I did a little card class yesterday with my great niece and nephew. They homeschool and are raising broilers for the project show. And last year they went and bought thank you notes, which is fine, out of my booth. But I thought, oh, what fun if I show them how to make their own thank you cards. So they came over and we had a card class. Just those two. They're twins. I think they're 11. I was trying to remember because they might be. I don't think they're 12. I think they're 11. And we had the best time. Who said boys can't make cards? He wasn't quite as fussy and particular as his sister, so he got done early. But they are so helpful and so considerate and so sweet, and I really appreciate their mama letting me borrow her children for a little while. So instead of just cutting out this piece, I die cut it with these Deckled rectangle dies. It gives it just a little bit of a, it's not just sterile straight edge. On my example card, I used the rectangle dies and layered them, but I decided, we're on a farm. Things aren't usually clean and straight, and there's a little bit of dirt involved. So I thought that'd be kind of cute. Now I did die cut these out with the rectangle die because it has that little bit of detail around the edge. I could have also sized down and used those, but I thought, oh, no. I think I'll use two different die sets. So that die cutting was done in the kits. Now my next card class is coming up next Thursday, the 23rd. It's at 1:30. I still have seats available. Gasp, I know. I think everybody's busy. Money is tight. There's 100 reasons. But if you don't have anything else to do and you would like to come, just like I say, message me. Let me know. The class is $20. We make 5 cards. Or you can get it for free with a $25 order. And you might see something in that class that you would really like to own, because it features more of these Sale-a-bration products that you earn with your $50 order. So that's kind of a cool way. You get a free card class and free products with a little bit larger order. Oops. So I've mounted that on dimensionals. You probably noticed me adding, those are like 2-sided pop dots. And I always like to use the Stampin' Up products. Trust me, you better be careful and make sure you've got that where you want it, because it's unforgiving. It sticks. It sticks. So let's do some heat embossing. I could have just stamped that in black. but I decided, you know what, it's not going to show up very good just stamped in black. So let's do it in white. And to do that, I needed to heat emboss. So remember in the fall catalog, they had the kit, the embossing kit that has the tray, the brush, the little embossing buddy, it's called. This is the old one. This is the original one, because they had it and discontinued it and then came back out with that kit. And I'll show you why I like that kit. So I'm using Versamark. That's the clear ink or the watermark ink. You can't really see it on your paper. You can see that it's a little bit darker. Could have stamped a little higher. So I'm going to use this tray to catch my embossing powder, because this stuff is kind of like glitter. It goes everywhere. That embossing buddy kind of takes the static out of your paper. What you want the powder to stick on your letters, and so the Versamark is kind of a tacky, a little bit sticky until it dries. And then the embossing buddy keeps all this extra embossing powder from sticking everywhere else. So let me clean that ink. It's not really ink, but clean that stamp so it's not sticky. I did a pretty good job with the embossing powder, so I'll just set this aside, because now we're going to need, I'm going to hold it with my tweezers. Oh yeah, tweezers come in that kit too. These unfortunately are not Stampin' Up tweezers, and they work opposite of what you're used to. Oh, I got a bit of a mess going on over here getting my heat tool. I have several cords going all different directions. Now this might be a little bit loud, but the magic that's going to happen when it heats that powder, you'll see it start melting and getting shiny. See the bottom of the Y? And then I just kind of start working my way over till it gets all shiny and all melted. You don't want to overcook it, because that'll turn it brown. Look at that. Now if you had any areas that weren't the shiny, you maybe didn't heat it quite long enough. Some people like to heat the back. I just do the front myself, but everybody has their own style, and there's not an exact right and wrong. We're going to put this down in the bottom left corner, and I think what I'll do is I'm going to use just some Stampin' Seal to attach it to the center panel, which there is a pop dot or a dimensional right there. You know what? I think that's going to be enough. So our embellishment for this are the matte decorative dots. And I think for this one I'm going to choose the Old Olive. What I like about these, they're kind of an ombre. They go from the dark to the light. So you can choose what color you would like. Oops. Where should I put this? Put it down there on that one. That'll work. And then I can choose lighter colors. I kind of want to feature, let's do this one, the sentiment. They may get lost just a little bit, but this one catches your eye and it pulls it up then, and you see those. I wanted to keep this card really just simple. It's a thank you card. It doesn't need a lot of embellishment. People usually will read a thank you card and they throw it in the trash. So you don't want to put a whole lot of stuff on it that you feel like you're just sending them a bunch of products to throw away. So simple is better sometimes. So this card is almost done. I knew it wouldn't take very long, but we can, I'm going to put a liner in it, and yes, it is light enough that you really wouldn't have to have this white piece on the inside, but for me it just kind of finishes the card. I think I've gotten spoiled, because for a while I certainly wouldn't put one in there because it was a light color. But I was putting them in all the other cards, and it just felt like I wasn't finishing the card. And because I'm going to kind of make this "You're the Best Ever," it just seemed like it was a sentiment that said thank you. I'm not going to stamp anything on the inside. I could do some of these flowers. I'm not really set up to add anything extra to it, but I could do it in just black and white. Let's do this little one right here. Oops, don't want to do it crooked. Just to add some interest to the inside. That's one of the things you can do when you own the stamp sets yourself. You can totally go to town on decorating. But I'm going to keep this one pretty simple. I'm using my Stampin' Chamois today to clean the stamps. It stays damp in this case, and I stamp often enough that it doesn't sit there and dry up, but every couple of days, or if I've stamped a whole lot, I'll take it to the sink and rinse it really well, and I'll leave just a little bit of moisture, and then all I have to do the next time is just flip it, and the moisture has kind of gone to the bottom. Gravity has pulled it down, and it cleans lovely. Alright. So I had an idea for our envelope. Let me get one over here. I have 2 extra packages of this paper that I am going to need to use because I will move on and use other stuff. So I can either use this or that. This or that. Let me see, which one am I going to use to put on my envelope flap. And it goes sideways. We used this set yesterday, so I've got all sorts of pieces of paper in here. Okay, I think I'll just use this one. They're going to have to take a minute and look at it. So I'm going to cut me a 2.5 inch. I think 2.5 inch works. Make sure before I cut it and it doesn't. Yep. I can make it 2 5/8 because I want it wide enough to go on that flap. Usually a 6-inch piece is plenty. And I'll put my adhesive as close to the fold as I can. And then out here on this edge. So also during Celebration, they're offering a joining incentive. They have added the opportunity to choose the brand new Boho Blue mini embossing machine, Stampin' Cut embossing machine. And the thing about that is it's not going to be offered for sale. You can only get it through this joining incentive. $129 gets you that, and $175 in product, which is $50 more than usual. So $175 plus a $60 embossing die cutting machine is over $200 in product for $125. Or if you don't want the mini embossing machine, you can choose the blue or the white for that $129. You can drop back to the $99. You still get to pick the $175 in product. So it's a great way to kind of fulfill your wish list. And that's all you have to do. You don't have to do anything else. Just enjoy your products that you chose. You do get to pick from the online exclusives. We are in the middle of a pre-order for that. And I was going to make my samples, but they accidentally sent me the wrong dies, so I've had to wait and get my correction. They had to correct my order, so I haven't gotten my samples made yet, but those items are available for the pre-order. So that's a way to add to your stamp collection with no obligation, nothing after that. So that was all I had for today. I just wanted to show you this cute card featuring that paper. Um, Totally optional if you even wanted on the farm. It may not be a set that speaks to you, but that paper is pretty cute, and you can use your own stamps and make thank you cards. I used Very Best Occasions. That's where the You're the Best Ever came from. This stamp set is in the I don't think it's in the annual catalog. I believe it's in the current little mini catalog. Let me check before I lie to you or tell you stories. Yes, it's in the new mini catalog, that January to April, I believe is that. Stampin' Up's in the process of changing their release times, so some of the catalogs aren't staying active as long as they used to. And we're doing the online exclusives in order to offer more opportunities in between catalogs. So just kind of pay attention whenever I'm sending emails. I try to point that out to you. This is a cool set to have, though, because it has Happy Birthday, Endlessly Grateful, Sending You Smiles for Every Moment of Your Special Day. So you have a sentiment for the outside and something for the inside. It even includes a Christmas sentiment. I like this one. May your days be happy, your heart be light, your Christmas merry, and the new year bright. Because I always like to include a Happy New Year with my Christmas. So that's one that can stay in your collection for your Christmas cards. So, like I said, that's pretty much all I have for you today. Just wanted to show you that card and talk to you about Sale-a-bration. It's coming up on the last, it ends on February 28th. So we're 10, 11 days out. And things are starting to go on no longer available. So that's another reason why you don't want to wait too long. So if you don't have any questions or comments, I think that's all for today. And if you want to come to my card class, please let me know. I'll be doing the cutting for that. I don't know if I'll do it today, but I'm going to start tomorrow. I know my RSVP deadline is Monday because I try to get mine done ahead of time so I'm not flustered and hurrying and all that kind of stuff. So I've got room. Just let me know. See you later. Bye. Thanks for watching.